I'm Richard Thomas, the George Martin Lane Professor of the Classics here at Harvard University. I also, every 4 years, teach a freshman seminar on Bob Dylan. I've been doing that since 2004. To me, teaching Dylan is really no different from teaching Ovid or Virgil or the other great poets of antiquity. Why? Because like them, he's a genius, particularly in his use, in particular, of the English language in song, and that we can learn from his use of the English language in song, his performance in particular. So I show a lot of sort of concerts and so on as part of the class. Why does he matter? That's the title of the book, Why Bob Dylan Matters. He matters not, as some have thought, because he's been quoting my authors, as he has since 2001, quoting Virgil, 2006 Ovid, 2012 Homer, and not just quoting them, but really integrating their lyrics into his own lyrics. So it's not just because of that, but because, like those poets, basically what he produces matters to us. Dylan captures in ways that the rest of us can't capture what it means to be human and to go through life, if you like. One of his albums, 2009, Together Through Life, I think there is partly talking about having spent 50, 60 years now singing his song and having a relationship with those to whom he sings. So in his use of the classical authors, for instance, the most recent one, Tempest, Dylan has been singing not the words of Homer, the narrator, but the words of Odysseus. So in a sense, the singer of the particular songs, early Roman kings is one of them, Pay in Blood is another. That singer has become the figure of Odysseus. And if one thinks about Odysseus, the arch trickster, the first line of the poem, Polutropon, full of many twists and so on. And then if you think of Dylan and the characters in song that Dylan has created, Jokerman, Jack of Hearts, and so on. So these jester figures, these elusive figures who are characters created by Dylan, just as surely as characters in a novel or characters in a Shakespearean play are characters whose words really capture at the highest aesthetic level precisely these human conditions. Now that's a tradition that goes way back and is part of the folk tradition. So Dylan in his Nobel lecture talks about getting the vernacular of folk music, and what I think he really means there is taking on with his characters the actual personality of figures in folk song, and that I think has enabled him or helped him to produce these songs that are in that tradition, but are, because of his brilliance with language, particularly in the mid-60s, but really at a number of points, because of his brilliance with the use of language, his own performance of them, the look of him, are just art at its most exquisite, and that's something that I think is very useful in the classroom. So I've taught it 4 times now, every 4 years, as I say, and I'll continue to do so. And I think other teachers will probably continue. I know a number of courses started up in recent years on Dylan, and it's not often that one gets taught in one's lifetime. I mean, if you think about it, to become a classic, to become something that is enduring, often takes a few years. But Dylan, like others, Seamus Heaney, could name Eliot, and others, were taught in their own lifetime. In other words, something about their art was recognized, the importance of it, the fact that it's going to stick around.